Alright, time for some new graphics. You see it's already removed. So my first step is going to be spray it with some soapy water. Only got a minimal amount of soap in there. But I just want to get the bulk of the dirt off. It really wasn't that dirty before. Alright, see how you can hear that I'm catching out my fingernail? You want to make sure that anywhere where you got any kind of nicks or anything like that, you make it so it's smooth, otherwise you're going to catch that and it's going to be a little bubble. I've got a stainless steel razor like for doing window tint. Make sure you get all your dirt off, and not just the area that you're doing, but even the area around it. And make sure everything's clean, because if it isn't clean, or area around it, then you're going to set something down or touch something, it's going to just make it dirty. Alright, so no matter how clean everything is, everybody got their own method. Some people hit it with, acetone, brake clean, everybody's got their own thing. I got some straight out of Lowe's denatured alcohol, like for a lantern fuel, for like an alcohol burning stove or fuel. Alright, just going to wipe it off a little bit. Make sure there's no oil. The alcohol will evaporate like super fast, as you can see. If there's any oil on there, sticker ain't going to work right. Alright, so the next thing you're going to need is some like painter's tape, and to get your sticker ready to go, and to tape it off so that way when you're putting the sticker on, you can have it exactly where you want it. I'm going to pause the video, grab some tape. So now you got to take your sticker, figure out exactly where you want it. So what's almost beneficial to do is to trim the edge of this paper off the backing, so you can get it exactly where you want it. And I'm going to do that, and I'll be right back. So I have this sticker just sitting on here. I trimmed especially around the back, because that's where you can get a good idea of where exactly it's going to sit. Then I taped this one off. Then I picked it up, lined it up with where it needed to be, put a piece of tape here with a little pull tab to make it easier, pull tab to make it easier. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to peel this back and then make a slice with a razor blade or a pair of scissors to cut the backing off. Then I'm going to squirt some of my soapy water in there. It's just maybe 2 drops of Dawn soap with some warm water. And then once I peel this back, spray it. I'm going to spray the surface so I don't scratch the sticker. And then I'm going to take, you could use a hard card or, whatever you're planning to use. If you don't have anything, you could use, a credit card with a cloth tape to it. This is actually a hard card for doing vinyl. I use this to wrap my tailgate. But get them on Amazon or anywhere really. But next is going to be peel this back and cut it off. So now that I've taken my razor blade and cut the backing off, just make sure it's nice and wet. And you can see that now that I've got it on there, it's starting to cover the entire area of the plastic. When I first started spraying it, there wasn't really much soap on it, and it was starting to bead off, like, almost as if it was waxed. So it's nice and soaped up, that way you can play with it. Make sure your hands are clean, and make sure you're not touching the heck out of the sticker, otherwise that's going to get all jacked up. Okay, so I like to make sure it's all lined up. I start in the center. Like I was saying, I soap the outside too, that way you don't have to deal with it. So I start in the center. I part it down the center. Then I get bubbles out this side. Bubbles out the tip. Bubbles out the other side. Now your plastic moves a little bit. Now this one's got some relatively decent plastic. It sticks pretty good. Sticks in position. I got a heat gun using a Porter cable, setting on high, but setting the temperature like maybe a third of the way up. Just because if you have the temperature too high, you end up melting the sticker. You start stretching it, you know, it'll start looking all jacked up. But just put a little bit of heat on it, that way it sticks down good. You can see the bubbles work right out of this, like near instantly. This is not a factory decal. This is a replica that I got on Amazon or eBay, or you know, one of them. I think this one was made by a guy out of New York. Sold all kinds of, you know, vintage decals. Sad to see that when you actually are calling something of, you know, your era vintage. But I have done the vinyl decals from Yamaha, and basically the same quality. It's, you know, it's basically the same thing, except it costs twice as much. Ever so slight variation from this decal to the original decal, but not enough to be concerned about. If you had some kind of like show vehicle or something like that, might be a different story, but all my quads get ridden. You see the 450R, that gets ridden. Yeah, my boy, he actually rides, so. Alright, so next is going to be the back. So what I'm going to do in the back is peel my tape off. Make sure you lay the tape flat as you're peeling it. If you try to peel, you know, and point it straight up in the air, you're going to end up peeling the decal and moving it all around. So, you know, leave it lay flat. I'm going to peel that back. Peel off the, you know, the backing that covers the sticky part. Spray, and then squeegee this part too. So let's have at it. Make sure you got all your stuff somewhere where you can get it too. Always make sure you get some spray on there right away. If you don't, what'll end up happening is you won't be able to reach it, or you know, the sticker will start to fall, and then all before you know it, you'll be like, oh damn, my sticker's stuck. I don't know if spraying the sticker is of necessary, you know, that much importance, but I do it. So you can see, big bubble right here. I'm going to run that out in the center. Get a hard card, part it down the center. If you got like a weird shape that you're working around, sometimes it takes a little more effort. Like this isn't more so of a wrap. These factory stickers go on way easier than a wrap. When you have a wrap, you end up having to like heat it and work it around all different shapes. Like the hood of the 450R, that was a good scenario. You know, there's a couple of valleys, a couple peaks in it, so it really makes it a lot more difficult. But hit it with the heat gun a little bit. Kind of work the bubbles out. You just watch the edge as you're doing it. If you start seeing soap and, you know, bubbles coming out the edge, then you can get all the water out. Yeah, honestly, I got it out right out the gate. Not that I'm a pro, but it just happened to be easy, honestly. Don't let it sit in the sun. I made the mistake. I was like, oh, I'm going to let this sit in the sun. Let this all dry off, and it's going to stick all nice. And now the sun down here in South Carolina is hot as all get out. So I ended up having problems, you know, with it actually jacking up the gas tank on the 450R. Now, in the light, I can see that there's a couple tiny little bubbles right in here. I'll work these out. Like I said, my stuff don't have to be perfect for me. I got them little bubbles out. Front half came out absolutely perfect. Two tiny little bubbles in the back, but I got them out. actually a little bit of dirt or something. I think it actually might be on dirt. You know, like I was saying, if you don't get all the imperfections out of plastic, that's probably what I got right there. I've actually seen people lift the sticker back off and reset the sticker. I don't know if I would necessarily be ballsy enough to do that. I'd be too afraid that that it'd get jacked up. But here, let's check it out. That's the way to tell. See how you got the little reflection? That's one of them tiny little spots here, right there. But we went from that, which this one was even worse. There's a chunk missing, to that. I'll show you that hood of the 450R that I said was a little bit of a struggle. If you look, see how like there's that crease right there. It's got to be nice and tight. But yep, looking good. So the next one we're gonna do is gonna be this Yamaha one. You can see where the old one was right here. But clean all that up, and that one's going on next.